Oh my god, well I fucked that up. I was going to try to play the Terminator theme to get things going. You know, the whole... There we go. Why are we talking about Terminators? I don't know. Why are we talking about Terminators? I just happen to have one right here. I'm going to bring this guy to life. I'm going to bring him to life. He's coming after you. What's up, creepers? Hey, Keekers, Chris. The Retro Creep. Yeah, I'm in a fucking weird mood today. You know why? Because I just got done with a phone interview. I would say 50-50 at this point, but there's a very good chance that I finally... It's literally a year to the date. A year to the date. Since I got out of that school, that program, that whatever the fuck you want to call it. That I finally got a second interview, if not a first interview, with a tech company that I actually want to work with. There were some that came and they weren't paying. I chose not to. A lot that never got back to me. There was one company I did go work for, but it wasn't doing anything close to what I wanted to do. And it was kind of a fucked up situation. They literally sat me there for 3 weeks and had me do nothing. And then finally, when they had someone who was willing to train, they made sure the whole ship to know that they didn't want anything to do with me fucking being anywhere near them. They didn't want to train me. It was what it was. I used my skills of being fucked up in the head, and I said, you know what? When you guys get your shit together, give me a fucking call. And I left. I fucking left. When you get your shit together, give me a fucking call. I would love to retire from this organization. But you guys suck. Don't hire people if you don't have anything for them to do. And then insult them when you start training them how to do it. But why Terminator? Why are we bringing up Terminator and all that shit? Well, because the company I'm going to be working for is a large company that you all know of. But I'm not going to say their name. I'm going to be getting a job in their robotics division. They'll be building robots. And you know what? The interview was fucking cakewalk. You know? How do you perceive safety in the workspace? And I'm like, oh, fucking easy question. I fucking flew right through it. If there were a malfunction to happen on a piece of equipment, what would you then do? Easy question, just to fucking skate right through. Ask me about me and my background in tech and manufacturing mostly. It looks like I'm not going to be doing anything more than just sitting at a fucking space and assembling probably a sub-assembly of these robots. But these robots go into distribution centers, and they do a whole bunch of other things. Plus, they also sell, like, basically tablets with fucking wheels. Let's just face it. It's Alexa. I don't want to say it too loud. She's in the other room right now with wheels. I'm excited. I'm hoping to hear back by the end of the day anyway from my recruiter. I just spoke to the hiring manager themselves. And, you know, it was those kind of questions. What would you do for safety? Are you willing to learn and train and absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny because this organization has these things called the 16 Principles of Leadership. I don't know if I was supposed to find it or not, because it's very clearly meant for people who are in leadership. Talking about hiring the best and all that crap. But one of them was be curious and learn, as well as grow a backbone. Grow a backbone and what was it? And question things. And of course, it was like if you disagree with something, that's awesome. We want you to just be respectful about it. But the whole learning and getting, when I worked in corrections, they had this thing called the stars. And it was a local, I think it was through Pima County Community College. It could have been through ASU in some cases. But courses would come up all the time. And they would be free to the employee, the state employee that was working the facilities, right? And it didn't matter what it was. It did not matter what it was. I fucking signed up for everything. I love learning new shit, whether I use it or not. Whether I'm able to use it or not. Whether I have the ability to fucking smarts or, the background. I still love learning new things every fucking day. So him and I talked a lot about that, but it was really simple. He definitely sounded like he needed fucking people. He literally hit me like right on the fucking clitoris of fucking questions. Boom, he just went right for it. Boom! These are the things I need to know about you. Can you be safe? Do you know how to focus and stay on task? And how are you with quality control and safety? Boom, that's it. Hopefully, if all goes well, that might even be an email. Oh, nope. That's my recruiter. Yeah, boy. So, there you go. There you go. Hope everyone else is having a... Let's see, who we got in here? Violation Entertainment? Your move, creep. You know what? Let's put him right here. You guys can't really see him very well, can you? There we go. He's more important than I am. No one gives a fuck about me. I actually got to repair this guy. The switch broke. The switch broke for the eyeballs. So what I'm thinking about doing is cleaning up this fucking mess underneath it, getting rid of this battery box and the switch all together. And I have a bunch of AA battery boxes that have a built-in switch. I'm just going to put that in here. 2 wires, a little bit of glue, maybe even Velcro. Bob's your uncle. Moving on. Potion Sword Run. What's up, brother? You still working for Umbrella Corp? I am. I love that fucking theme. That theme that they use for that. In the movie, anyway. Alan, what's going on, buddy? Learning is so much fun. I miss going to college for that very reason. You know what, dude? Yes. I don't know. Classroom learning is not my favorite. But I love it when they're like, hey, we're going to have like a little thing. Let's go into the conference room, and we're all going to learn a new skill. Yeah, sometimes I did actually have to go to college. I'm not the biggest fan of that kind of situation, but yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. But like I was saying earlier, that it's been like a year to the date, honestly. We graduated from that electromechanical program about a year ago, in March. Yeah, it was in March. I was out sooner than that because I had finished everything that was needed to be finished, but officially in March, a year ago, I got my certifications. This thing called the J Standard, which means I can inspect Class 1, 2, and 3 electronics and make sure that they're, within specifications of the 3 classes. And this thing called the 610, the S610 or something like that. Basically, it says that I know how to solder. I did through hole, I did surface stuff, and I did this, I did that. I stuck something up your mom's ass, all that stuff. They know I'm proficient at that. They know I'm proficient at that. But yeah, Potion, man, learning is fucking awesome. I love learning. Absolutely. One of my favorite things to do is like let's say I see something on the marketplace, a guitar, a toy, or a game, or something like that, or just anything. I just want to relate it to this channel. But I will research it to the nth degree, and I got that from my father. If you ever saw some of my dad's old study Bibles, they were a mess. They were a mess of notes, highlights, and sheets of paper. It was wonderful to look at. My dad was a studier. My mom used to joke and say, you only got into the ministry because you got that nice desk to sit down and read a couple of books and come. And you know what? I can't disagree with that. My dad was a big study guy. Always doing night courses and stuff like that. He got a degree in radio broadcasting or whatever is the like for that. I don't know what the actual degree was. But he ended up going into ministry and sales. I don't know, Alan. And everyone was saying hello. Poacher said, I had a bunch of art classes, both lab work and shop work, depending on the medium. Yeah, I love shit like that. That was the best part about this institute that I went to. It's called the Lair Institute. it was mostly lab work. It was so fucking wonderful. Once we got past the OSHA training that first week, ooh, I can't sit in front of a computer and listen to some fucking monotone fucking dude going, and the subassembly fits over here. You need a number 3 socket drive with the fucking 1400 this and that. Safety. When was the last time you saw this happen? Some ridiculous fucking thing, kid falls off a shelf or something, splits his head open and his arm goes through his eyeballs. I don't know. What would you do in this scenario? And then everything pauses and the words come up. Observe. Call. I don't know. Action. Regroup. You know what I'm talking about. And they would go each individual. I fucking hate that kind of learning. It makes me think of fast food work, which is not bad. I mean, fast food work can be really fun. But if you've ever worked in a restaurant that had any kind of number of restaurants, not just like Jim's fucking pizza joint downtown, like in my case, I started my first real job as a Friendly's restaurant. I worked at what they call the soda fountain. I did the ice cream slinging. And sure as fuck, they had the little video cassettes, the little ding. In fact, there's a lot of those on YouTube. If you guys are ever curious about that, just like Wendy's and Pizza Hut and stuff like that. Like I learned how to make a Pizza Hut pizza like 3 weeks, a month ago. Domino's has a lot out there. I'm not saying that they're specifically putting them out there, but there's a lot of training videos from the 80s and 90s on YouTube. You should go watch them. They're entertaining at the fucking very least. Now, Posha, when you say you took a bunch of art classes, what kind of mediums did they do? And what was walking away from it? What was your favorite? What was the favorite thing they showed you how to do? And do you still do it today? That's awesome. The T800 would look great in a scally cap. You're right. You're fucking right. Hold on. He looks like a little boy wearing daddy's hat. This is supposedly a 1-to-1 scale model. We built this on the channel. I got a couple of playlists. One is Terminator projects. That's how much I like the Terminator. And Million Macabre. Took 3 years to fucking build this. And when I say 3 years, I meant like I would work on it and then put it away for a year. Then I would work on it and then put it away for a year. I wish I could light it up for you guys, but the switch is fucking busted. I'm glad I pulled it out for this gag. That I'm going to be working with robots. I'm going to be helping to further this right here. Because, as Alice Cooper said in the song The Black Widow, I feel that man has ruled this world as a stumbling, demented child king long enough. And then he goes on some maniacal shit about the Black Widow's going to rise and be the man's successor. But yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It could be my new hat. My new hat holder. Yeah, it's lazy teaching. Yeah, right? They pay a teacher once and just press play. They don't even pay a teacher. They pay some dickhead to fucking read a script. They're not even qualified. Think about that. Think about that, dude. They're not even qualified to teach you what they're teaching you. They're never well, maybe they have. I mean, there's a good chance they may have worked for like McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or Jack in the Box or your sister's ass, wherever. Can you tell I'm in a good fucking mood? It's been a fucking struggle this year, over the past year, just trying to get anything going. I'm still going to be doing reptile hides. This job is not the end all be all. This is. And this is just going to further it even more. Because one thing I've been worried about is I want to do the next level of preparedness for stuff like this. Standardized corporate teaching. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Like when I got this, we got this a couple of days ago. It's a little cubby for a boreal spider, meaning they like to climb. See, I learned that this week. And they have things like, of course, this. If you guys want to check them out, here's their QR code. Really good folks, family owned, really nice people. I've been chatting with them on and off since I won the damn thing. And stickers, but even their box has the tape has the logo on it. And I know you can buy stamps to put on boxes or bags. with a logo on it, because we had that at the Artists and Craftsmen Supply for our bags to bring your shit home. And I was really worried about that, the presentation. Whenever I make something and I sell it on Etsy, it will always say, your item will ship with recycled materials, but it will arrive safely and, whatever. I made it sound all nicey nice. But for that, I want legit. I want it to look legit. A couple of paychecks in, I'll be able to do that. I'll order some box from Uline, and maybe I'll get a stamp. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to have a whole... So if any of you guys have any, experience buying stickers with your own information on it from a company, and you have one you recommend, like $100 for like 1,000 stickers or what. I don't know what the rate is, but if you know of somebody, please put it in the comments, not in the... I don't go back to the chat. Because I'd like to have some stickers. I mean, I could just order them off of my TeePublic link down below. You can buy the t-shirt too to help me out. But, I mean, that's like $4 a fucking sticker. I'm not doing that shit. Nope. Potion Sword Run says, I went to SJSU in San Jose. I love saying words like that. Any word that has the word "san" in front of it, I like it. I don't know why. San Diego means a whale's vagina. It's a great movie. One of the greatest ever. Learning graphic design. Yep. HTML5. I kind of stopped at just HTML and some CSS, but you know where I learned how to code fucking websites? There was this website, I don't know if it exists anymore, called Lisa Explains It All. It was like a little kid. And I would literally just use cut and paste of the line, the script line that they would put out, for images like IMG, blah, 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 with the parentheses and all that, and bold and left and up and down and transparencies and all that crap. And then what I would do is I would look for pre-made templates. I think there was Jim's World of Templates or something like that. There was Jim's Templates or something like that. Jim's Free, that's what it was called. Jim's Free. And they had thousands of templates you could use. And then I would take them into, this is going to age this, okay? And then I would take it into Picture It 2000 that came with my Gateway 2000 computer. And I would alter those, but use the code and then look for the code itself that, okay, this is where I'm going to put my logo, and this is where I'm going to put this image that I produced. And, and that's how I fucking actually learned it. I couldn't do it today. And I'm glad everything's drag and drop. But that's awesome. That's awesome. See how the read code? Also, student industry design, where I drew products and created prototypes in shop. That was fun. Dude, you just gave me a fucking little chubby. That's awesome, dude. Netflix Terminator Zero has been canceled. The first one was pretty good. I don't get it, Alan. I liked it. I watched it twice. I liked it so much I watched it a second time. I'm an expert. I'm an expert in Terminator Zero. I don't know why I'm doing that guy voice, the internet guy. But yeah, there's a good chance I'll be fucking making robots. Now, they're nothing. It's not like fucking robots going out in the streets or anything. They basically look like Roombas, but they're on a much bigger scale, and they assist in warehouse production. They literally go underneath racks, big racks of product or parts, and bring them to where they need to go according to whatever the program is. Pretty interesting stuff. But if I were to be honest, I kind of want to build the ones that you can buy for your house. That's like a $2,000 fucking tablet with wheels on it. I want to build those. Cinematic Arts and Technology. Nice. But I never finished my degree. I transferred to SCUM. Monetarily, and got a degree in cinematic arts and production, film production. I always wanted to work in film. And I know this is a poor excuse as to why it never happened. But I remember as a kid, I would make up the neighborhood kids, make them all look fucked up. I would build my own like props and toys and stuff. Same shit I do every day now, right? At one point, it got the psychologist involved because I was constantly making people look like they got hit with fucking bats and knives and, things sticking out of their neck and shit, and learning how to make blood pump, learned how to do squibs. Oh my God, I hurt so many people by accident doing squibs. But that's neither not dangerously bad. Like, we never had to go to the hospital or anything like that. Basic first aid, ice, a Band-Aid in some cases. But I really wanted to get involved in film. I wanted to make film. But every time I would bring it up, everyone in my fucking life would be like, that's not realistic. And then move on. So, of course, I believed it. I was a little kid, So I never pursued it. And then by the time I got old enough I just felt like I was too old. So, both bad excuses. But legit ones in my mind, anyhow. But I always wanted to make film. I every now and again toy with the idea of just coming up with a simple one-person idea to do. Just me, my phone, a little bit of editing software, an idea, some sound design, just to create some kind of a story narrative, I don't know. But that's awesome, dude. That's wicked good. I like that. What I learned in uni is don't give uni your money. I promise I won't. Don't you worry about that, Violation Entertainment. I won't do that. I have buddies that have moved to L.A. and work in film right now. I never made the jump. Life happens. Absolutely. It really does. And, I am a firm believer in Christ and God. I really am. I know I know my behavior in a lot of situations are very counter to that. But I do. I have a really strong faith. And I believe you're where you need to be. Where you need, it doesn't seem like, and there are people struggling, and there are pains, and there are, woes in the world, and illness, and violence, and war. And it sounds kind of fucked up to say something like that, but with my faith and the way I understand it, the way I was brought up to believe, and again, you need to think of it that way. It's how I believe that there's more to things than just this tiny speck of time that we are on this stupid rock. And when you compare eternity to your 60, 80, 20, however many years you end up walking on the soil here, it's a blip. It's I like to equal it to when Scrooge is talking with Marley. And Scrooge says, Marley, you were always a good man of business. And Marley gets pissed. He's like, my dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. That's how I look at life on Earth, People will sit there and say, how do kids get cancer? I don't know. I don't have an answer. But what I know is whatever they're suffering is going to be a laugh later on. And maybe that child was an instrument of inspiration for others. Maybe to bring awareness, because you never know. I could have a child come up with some kind of an illness that I knew nothing about. Now I know about it, and unfortunately I had to suffer, my child had to suffer the negatives of whatever that is, and in some cases maybe they passed away. Maybe I would now, with that knowledge, bring forward that knowledge to a lot more people who would not have known about it, and maybe like I'm doing with the Alzheimer's Association. Does that make any sense? I know it's not any consolation to anybody. I know it's not the right kind of hug for people to hear, but that's my belief. I believe we are where we need to be when we need to be there, regardless if we agree or understand why. There are things we can do to avoid things, absolutely. And it's not in that whole, they talk about blind faith. I'm not going to just sit here in the house and go, okay, I'm going to have a job. I'm not going to get sick. I'm going to have money. Guitars. Pussy. No, it doesn't work that way. But all right, enough of that. We don't need to go into theology here. I got a couple of childhood friends that are cinematographers in Hollywood. Their last names are Jones. Eric Jones and Kurt Jones. I've never IMDb'd them to see what they've worked on. And Eric used to go by the name Muggsy locally. So, yeah. I have buddies that moved to L.A. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know if I would want to work L.A., but you're right, Violation. You can learn it all at home these days before you couldn't. I know. I hate saying it, but whenever the teachers around here start playing that strike game, I don't mind them doing that to get what's fair. But don't do it at the cost of my kid's education. Don't fucking close the school down, right? And whenever that does happen, I look at them and I go, Google can do your job these days. And we're slowly working towards automated fucking learning. So please do this on your own time, not theirs. Especially since I fucking pay your cocksucking salary. Hold on one second. I need to message this guy real quick. Good enough for government work. All right. I'm hoping that means that we're moving forward. We're moving forward. I told him I was going to give him a call around 2 o'clock anyway today, 3 o'clock. So I'm probably not going to be on for all that much longer. Only because, I started late, and I know normally I can go as long as I want, but I do have things I need to get done today. I need to get back to this guy. He's a really good dude. I didn't think about going through an agency before, and I fucking hate it. I've done it, and that's how it was when we first started doing all this work shit, But yeah, that's awesome, dude. Have you ever thought about, still trying to maybe do that? Potion? About, jumping in and maybe trying to get something. There's people around me locally that work in the industry. And it's not quite what you think. Like when Beetlejuice 2 was here in my town, I don't know if you guys know that or not. I wouldn't shut up about it. But Tim Burton was in town. He waved at me. I said, "Hey, Tim." And he went, "We're best friends. We're best friends." I don't know why he doesn't invite me out to brunch anymore, or ever, or even knows my name, or he never even looked up at me. But no, when they were here in town, there was a couple of people I know that were working, the crew. Some guy was slinging wire, and one guy was, moving this equipment. This guy was the cameraman, cinematographer. And this guy was doing this, and this girl was doing that. Lots of clipboards and radios. I've noticed in film production. Lots of people with clipboards and radios. And this fucking sense of urgency, But, yeah, I always wanted to get into film production. I wouldn't know how to do it here, but I got a young lady that I graduated with her brother. She does a lot of makeup effects and just basic makeup for a lot of local productions. She actually started working in I don't want to call it porn, but it was porn. Her and this other kid I knew, he was the sound designer, basically the guy who would put the music to it. It was a company called I think they were called Tri Media, and they were local. I think they were in Everett or Malden, Mass. She doesn't work there. She would do makeup and stuff like that. But I would love to do set design and oh yeah, fuck yeah. Someone bring me a bunch of pictures like Ralph McQuarrie, and I would sit there and look at a big empty warehouse and go, I gotta make this space look like this fucking cavern. Let's go! Hell yeah. Sneak up to Tim and go, "That you, sugar bumps." You should. Sneak up to Tim and go, "That you, sugar bumps." I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I'm not going to even try to pretend I'm paying attention here. What I learned from Unity, yeah, I have no idea. Is it a reference to something I said? It probably is a reference to something my dumbass said. But, yeah, I don't know. I've started to use the Facebook page a little bit more. I don't know how long that's going to last, guys. Honestly, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But you know what we're going to do? I'm going to give this guy a call because I have a feeling that I'm going to be moving on to the next step. Oh, Batman 89. Okay. I can hear the word sugar bumps in my head. I just couldn't picture it. So I'm going to sign off for right now. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll play some games. I'm going to find out what's going on with this guy. Figure out whether or not they do want me to progress. And I do want to say this, though. If I do get this position at 6:30 in the morning, oh, my God, I'm not a morning person even this much. Not even this much. And if I can't have a nice carafe of coffee waiting for me at my workstation, which I do have one, it seals and everything. It's going to be a rough transition for me. But we'll be back probably to play some games. I just wanted to come on and at least say hi and be excited that I may or may not get this job. And I'm really excited because it's finally something I want to do. I've been very picky, very selective. And to work with robots under any condition, whether or not they look like the ones that you think of when you think of robots, or like Roomba-looking things that work in warehouses. Or that creepy thing at Stop and Shop. If you're local, you know what I'm talking about. There's this fucking robot. It's real tall. And they put those big googly eyes on it. And you can ask it, where is this? And then you fucking slowly follow it. And people will get in its way, even though they know it's coming down the line. They're not smart enough to get the fuck... Actually, it's not even so much that they're not smart enough. I'm pretty sure they're smart enough to get the fuck out of the way of things. They're just ignorant. Ignorant that you're probably on the wrong side of the road. Does that drive you nuts too when you're in the fucking store and people are walking in front of you while you're on the right-hand side, much like traffic, and they're here? I won't fucking move out of the way. I'll be like, get the fuck over there. What are we, in Europe? Joker, it's me. Yep. What is up? I'm just going to call you 9844. I wanted to call you Nintosaurus Studio. What is it? You'll excuse me. I have resin on my screen. It's hard to read. Certain that bottom corner, that one bottom spot. Unfortunately, it's tough for me to see comments and or names. So I'm just going to call you Nintar. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. But guys, bear with me. We'll come back. Maybe we'll play a Terminator game if I can find one. I'm pretty sure we have one for the... Before we leave, let me look it up so I'm not lying to you. Fusion. I'm pretty sure there's a Terminator game for the SMS. And today is Master System Monday. Where are we? Where's the T? T2 Judgment Day, Terminator. Is RoboCop versus Terminator on here? I doubt it. Let me just look anyway. But either way, we'll be back. I hope anyway, unless I have to go piss in a cup or something like that. But I just wanted to come on real quick just to say, hey, it's Monday, I know, but things are moving along. But if I do get this job, these streams are probably going to stop. But I will be home around 3 or 4 o'clock. Maybe I could sneak an hour in every day here or there, but... Nintari, Okay, see, now I can see it better. Thank you. I think I've fucked up that name a few times, actually. I would like to play the Nintari. Actually, I have a really good video about how Atari was supposed to make what became the NES. And both greed and miscommunications fucked that whole thing up. But, all right, guys, I'll be back. Hopefully I'll be back. And that's it. So if I'm not, guys, be well. Alzheimer's Association, I got some really rad prizes coming. You're not going to want to miss out. So, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to try to come back. How many fucking times am I going to tell them that? Dun 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 dun. Fuck you. All right, guys, give me a few minutes.